I accelerated my success as a realtor by tuning into podcasts, and now it's time for me to give back. Join me while I chat with some of the top agents in the industry, gaining insight into how they became experts at selling real estate so you can too. Who am I? Well, I'm Mark Rawmaker. I went from selling $5 million in real estate my first year as a part-time agent to running a mega icon team who has sold over $260 million in real estate in just 5 years. I'll be your host while we talk to yet another amazing realtor crushing the game. Welcome to the Real Estate Ninja Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Ninja Podcast. We're here to bring you interviews with top agents so you can learn more about how they are dominating the industry. In this episode, I'm about to chat with Jamie Tulak, one of the top agents dominating her market. We'll be uncovering the exact strategy she's implemented in order to achieve great success. From innovating marketing techniques such as throwing at community garage sales in her neighborhood, to insider tips on how she has grown her business from one agent to thousands of agents all over the country. This episode is packed full of actionable advice and inspiring stories. What's up? Get ready to become a real estate ninja on this podcast. Our expert guest will share tips and tricks to help you succeed. Subscribe now and never miss an episode. And today's episode is awesome. We have Jamie Tulak, the designer realtor. Her interior design degree and HGTV feature has definitely earned her that title. Watching platform Girls with Grit empowers female realtors nationwide. She's about to share her expertise in real estate and her modern digital marketing secrets. Jamie, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Dang, dude. I don't know who you were talking about, but that person sounds amazing.
Yeah, she sounds
you
cool.
made me sound way awesome.
She's going to get on anytime now. We can't wait. So we'll wait for her. No, I'm super excited.
Man, hey, I'm excited to be here. I love any chance that I get to hang out with you and chat with you. I mean, honestly, I always feel like when you meet people that match your energy, it's like the best thing ever. I feel like you match my energy and it's so awesome.
I feel the same way. Yeah. When I decided to do this podcast, I was like, Jamie's going to be a guest because also your knowledge is amazing and you are creating yourself as a legend. I'll be honest. Everybody's starting to know who you are and you're causing waves in the industry and it's super cool. I'm so happy you're here. I think the audience is going to learn a lot from you. You've created just such an amazing business and I can't wait to unpack that with you. So let's start off. Let's just kind of give the audience, those who don't know you, who you are, a brief rundown of what you did before real estate, because most people don't graduate high school and become realtors, what you did, and then what got you into real estate.
Yeah. So thanks for having me. I am a veteran agent. I've been in this for 13 years, which is weird to say. I don't know. Okay. Can we just talk about that real quick before we dive into who I am? Yeah. When did we become the quote unquote guru old people in the industry? Like, I don't know when that happened.
I don't know. I don't know. When you say 13 years, I'm like, dang, that's so long. It really is. That's a long time. I feel like after you experience maybe a market shift, you're a veteran. Once you have a down year, and I'm in it right now. So I've been doing it for almost 7 years. So I'm in that shift. Yep. So I think after this, I'll be a veteran, right? So this is your second. No, you're a veteran. Second one. Maybe.
This is my second shift, and it's really weird. But yeah, so I've been through multiple market shifts. 13 years. I've sold in multiple markets in multiple states. Actually, I didn't start out where I'm at now, which I serve the Raleigh, North Carolina market. Yes, I still actively sell a lot of real estate while simultaneously growing my group and simultaneously growing our coaching program. Crazy. Yeah, I was born and raised in California. So not the California that you think of. People think California and they're like, man, LA. Palm trees, LA. And I'm like, no, I grew up in the armpit of California where it's like brown and dead.
Where?
And the only thriving industry is farming. I grew up 45 minutes south of Fresno in a little town called Hanford, California. Okay. Shout out to my Hanford people. Yeah. Boom. little tiny town. Everyone kind of just stayed there. You married your high school sweetheart and that was it. But I had bigger aspirations for my life.
Okay.
And I went to college. I got my degree in interior design. That was right as the market was, crashing, and went right into real estate, really. Actually, Mark, it was on accident. I had aspirations of being on HGTV and being like this super well-known interior designer and building my empire that way. And I found this, it was like on one of those job postings, in college, like they would have like the internal job postings on the college websites. And so I saw something And it spoke to me because it just talked about like working with a custom home builder, and you'd be able to help clients design their home of their dreams and all of
That
this.
sounds
And I got
cool.
really excited. It did sound cool, but it wasn't at all what I got sold. And I thought it was design, but it was actually sales. And so that sparked my sales career. But who's building and buying custom homes in 2009, like 2010? Like nobody was.
Yeah.
So I really, without a shadow of a doubt, for the first time in my life, thought I felt God really calling me to something else, and it was real estate. And I was a newlywed. And I remember telling my husband, to this day, he's so funny. Like, he finally fessed up years later, by the way.
Yeah.
He was like, oh my God, this marriage is going to be like this freaking bomb. And like, we're going to end up divorced because this crazy woman is already like doing this thing that she wants to be on HGTV. And so I'm like, hey, honey, like I'm going to go ahead and leave like this, bare minimum $10 an hour job. And I'm going to go pursue real estate and be 100% commission based only in a down market, honey. And you're going to be okay with it because God's telling me to do this. So you can't tell me no.
Right.
And at the time, he didn't even have his full-time job yet. He was still an intern, which 2 weeks later, he ended up getting hired on salaried position, full benefits and everything like that. Like two weeks after I told him that we were doing this. So it was kind of like God got our back and we were fine. And I pursued real estate in my first year in a down market. I sold 35 homes. And so, which is crazy. Crazy, right?
That is crazy. I sold 23 my first year, and I thought that was pretty good. You just made me.
That is good.
I was lazy.
Is good. You know what I think had a lot to do with that? Because people ask, like, how did you do it? And it was because I already was forward thinking. I already had social media on my mind, right? So I was already using like social media as a platform. Like, how can I reach the most amount of people in the least amount of time as possible and have maximum results? And I was like, social media, right? So I was doing like the just listed, just sold, like storytelling on Facebook. And so that kind of helped, one. And two, my age demographic. At that time, it took me a while to graduate college, so don't shame me. But I was in my mid-20s. I was a newlywed, and so were a lot of my sphere, right? They were like, okay, I'm a first-time home buyer. The market had crashed. Like, it was starting to make a rebound. Rates were pretty low at the time. And so it was like this perfect storm to help me help people I knew at that phase of life that we were in. So naturally, you work with a lot of first-time home buyers. So,
right. So you did
that
in California. That you did that in California. And then when did you make the move to North Carolina, and what was that like?
Okay. Let me make that part of the story very short, as short as I can. So got successful a couple years down the road. It was like 3 years down the road. My husband was able to quit that corporate job, and he came side by side with me, and we kind of built our little real estate empire, much like you and your wife, actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we built out a home staging company. We had a little retail design storefront. We had our little mini empire. People kind of referred to us as, it was cool. It was like the Chip and Joanna Gaines of our town at the time, because we were doing a lot of things back then when people didn't even know, like, what is home staging? Like, what is all, and people are like, what are these people doing? And so we built our brand out. But the tipping point for me, and you're gonna totally resonate with this, or maybe your wife will. It was really hard having multiple hats, running multiple small businesses with a toddler at my knees and a baby on my hip.
Yep.
That was hard. I usually choke up at this point because it gets really emotional. And most women, if they're listening, they're going to understand like what that feels like, what that gravity, what that postpartum depression can be. But I came out of that fog and I said, something has to give. So we closed up our shop. And over that week, my husband and I looked at each other and thought to ourselves, like, let's pray over this and see what God's calling us to next. And we always wanted to move to Raleigh. Like, for
just
us,
a cool
it was
town.
about giving. Yeah, cool town. Great area to raise kids. Like 4 seasons, opportunity, because where we were at in California, there wasn't a ton of opportunity for our kids because there was only that one major college, like where I went to, Fresno State. But here, there's like 5-6 local colleges right here in the Raleigh area. And then beyond that, 5-6 hour drive, tons of colleges. So I just felt like it was a place for us. And so that's what we did. We planned our exit strategy over a year. and finally picked up, and we relocated to Raleigh completely with no jobs. We just freaking went for it. And we're like, you know what? Faith over fear. Like that says right there. Faith over fear.
Well, no risk, no reward, right? Yeah. Like
no risk, no reward.
Life's short. That's pretty amazing. And now, so you've been in Raleigh for how many years?
This summer, it'll be 4 years.
Wow. And you built just a massive thing there. So
yeah, I mean, right out of the gates, but doing what you do is just being hyper local and providing value and being found that way in the online space.
Let's talk about that. So we'll get into your Girls with Grit because that's amazing what you're doing. But I want to talk about your personal, like real estate selling business. So so when I see you, I mean, you're very, very, present on social media, Instagram specifically. I feel like you found Instagram kind of right before everybody else did, including myself. Like you were one of the reasons, the catalyst. I was like, "Ooh, what's this picture platform? It's not Facebook." So what was your strategy there, and what is your strategy today? Because you have this terminology of like farming the modern way, and I know you coach people on that. So what is your strategy and what is your mindset when it comes to that?
Yeah. So for me, actually, let's rewind back to that June of 2018 when I was like, all right, how do I pick up and relocate to a new market and build this thing all over again? And I was already using Instagram at that point. I had a marketing manager that would like post stuff for us and do all that kind of thing. And it helped us become super successful really quickly in my old market. And so I said, let's duplicate this, but let's start to add some video content. Let's add more hyper local content, right? Not just about us, because we love us more than people love us.
Right.
People don't love us that much.
It's not a ton of value, and there's no value in that. It's just more fun. It's just entertaining, right?
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's not value driven. And so I started to think, how do I provide value? And so that's what I did. I started my Instagram account even before I relocated here and started just researching hashtags, local businesses, really cool things to do, because I wanted to land here and really like get my feet wet and just hit the ground running, because I didn't have time to play with. I had bank money in my bank account, but how do you pick up? Yeah, I didn't want to burn it, and I'm trying to like support my family. I was a breadwinner. I have 2 small kids to feed. I had to figure this thing out. So my back's up against a wall. I go for it. Like I look fear in the face, I dance with it, and I overcome it. And so that's what I did. And so I think the cool thing about when you're utilizing Instagram as a platform to actually network and promote other people, it serves you well. Right. And so I started just researching those hashtags. And then when I got here, the first 6 months, I didn't really focus on selling. What I focused on was networking. And I focused on my connections. I focused on meeting people that I needed to meet in my new area, right? Does that make sense?
Were you doing that? Were you doing that online and offline, or just online, or just both?
Both. So I would DM local businesses and I would tell them my story and say, I would love to feature your business. I'd love to take branding photos in your business. I'd love to feature you. I'd love to offer like a coupon code for my followers and things like that. And then same thing, I would like go to these smaller networking things and I would meet other small business owners in my new town and meet them. And then, old school, I would just drive my new area, what schools are where, what shopping centers are where, and really truly getting to know the area. Because if I wanted to serve my relocation clients well, and I picked a niche, my client avatar, right? That's important.
Well, it's who you relocated, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, I just did this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yep. I could speak to this at a high level. I know the anxieties. I know their problems, and I know how to solve it, right? And I know how to meet them there and fill in that gap and make this a seamless process for them. So that's what I was going to focus on. So that's what I did. I thought about like, well, what information was I looking for when I was about to relocate that I couldn't easily find, and how do I make that easier for people? How do I make it to where my content is serving them, right? Well, and then it just kind of was a snowball effect from there.
Let me ask you this, because a lot of agents will say, "Oh, I get most of my business from social media." I mean, I say that, but there's sometimes it's just from people seeing my videos and then reaching out to me. Mm-hmm. But you actually had people you were getting legitimate messages on Instagram saying, "I'm looking to buy it." Like every day you were getting that.
Every day. Because here's the thing about Instagram. It is insane. The thing about Instagram is it humanizes you. on a level that like serves your clients well, right? Like I don't just share real estate stuff. I share about my life. I share about my kids. I share about what, my day-to-day looks like. And I share about local stuff in the industry that they care about, that
Now,
they
have you always been
want to
comfortable
know
doing
about.
that? Like, or did you
Yeah.
kind of have to break through a wall of like, oh, because sometimes I'm even a little private, right? Some people are like, I don't want them to see everything. Do you filter that, or you just kind of hit record and see what happens? How do you do it?
I do filter it. And the thing is, like, just
You
like
do.
you, I only share a little bit, right? People, you give them an inch and they think you've given them a mile. I think that's
Okay.
the thing. And if you do social media the correct way, people will feel like they already know you. It's that parasocial relationship that they are consuming your content, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is. And when you are authentic and they're consuming that, they're creating a parasocial relationship with you, and they feel
When
like
you're
they already know
sleeping.
you. Even
Yeah. And it's when
yes,
you're
when
not
you're
even having any
sleeping.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's
So I
super
mean,
powerful.
yeah, it's super powerful. But to answer your question, I wouldn't say I always thought that way, but I will say I am kind of always forward thinking and like what's going on in the market with marketing and how can I improve what I'm already doing. And
Yeah,
so,
it feels like your mindset's more of a marketer with a real estate license as opposed to a realtor
exactly.
that needs to market themselves.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
truly believe that's brought you the most success is because you're always
Yes.
thinking like, how do I build? You're a builder as opposed to like, let me just do some
Yep.
transactions and make some money.
Yeah, and
That's
for me,
how I
it's
see
not
you.
a yeah. That's absolutely true, and I think most real estate agents, if they're listening to this, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is stop being so transactional. Focus on the relationship and how to market to that client avatar. So think about what was your favorite transaction? What did you love about that? And chances are that's probably going to be the client avatar or the
Yeah.
niche that you should focus on,
And let
right?
me ask you this, because I feel like social media is harder. I'm in the training, I was trained the old school way. I think we all were. I know you were probably of like, these are the goals, right? So there's as many homes I need to sell. So this many people I need to call. This many, right? So like, I don't use that anymore. And I know people still do and it works. Now, what do you do like with social media? How do you just like do it and trust it? Like, is that what you do? Is that how you run it?
It's really crazy. Like, I'm going to be honest, I have not actually ran my numbers like that in probably over 2 years. Because for me, it's and I think you're going to agree when I say this, like people are now consuming content like you said while we're sleeping. And so how do you actually track the content that you're creating that actually turns into a client? Because I know that you're going to agree with this too. They will consume our content sometimes for weeks or months before they actually reach out.
Right.
And they're so ingrained in what we're talking about, and they already feel like they know us. It's really hard to actually track that because some of these people I've been working with maybe for a year to 2 years because they consumed my content like a long time ago and they've followed my journey. And now they're finally ready to relocate, or
Right.
now they're finally to do whatever they need to do. So tracking those numbers, it's like so old school. I just have to believe that the content I'm putting out there is going to hit the right people.
Right.
And I know that as I continue to put out this content, I can almost calculate what my financials are going to look like at the end of the year based on that. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Maybe you should put this in your coaching. And it just came to me. I think that you should almost, people that want to do content, agents that want to do content, say like, well, I'm going to, instead of talking to, 40 people a day or whatever, a week, I'm going to do 40 pieces of content. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Count it that way. And then
Yeah.
that's the way, because it feels like there's no way to track the business when
Social
you're like,
media.
because it's
Perfectly.
marketing.
Yeah.
It's not
marketing.
Yeah, it's advertising and marketing and it's all that stuff. So no, I'm the same way. I don't know. It's hard to track it, but I just know I know that the numbers are there and they're growing, right? And I'm doing content. So
but going back to what you asked me earlier, like you have to create the content that's going to reach your most ideal client. And so you asked me, well, what does that mean about like farming in the most modern way? And traditionally, when we talk about real estate farming, people think postcards, right? They think maybe you're door knocking people
flyers,
in that farm neighborhood,
door hangers,
flyers, stuff like that. For me, the way I run my farm, I focus on my neighborhood. I live in a really beautiful golf course community here in the suburbs of Raleigh.
Yeah.
And for me, it's about being a community connector. It's about building those relationships. And so multiple times throughout the year, I am putting on events for my neighborhood, right? So I actually have one coming up. We have our annual yard sale, but it's about doing it at the highest level possible. So let me run down what my yard sale looks like, because this is how I farm in the modern way.
Ooh, this is good. This is good.
I'm going to give you guys the whole freaking enchilada, and like maybe my my business partners might not be happy with me that I'm giving it away. So, but let's roll through that real quick, because I think this is important. A lot of people get told to do events, but they don't do them correctly. Okay. So number one, you have to either be an admin of the Facebook group or be buddy with whoever the admin is for your neighborhood Facebook group.
Sure.
You're going to create the event. So create your graphic. And then along with that graphic, you want to create some type of landing page. Lead Pages is really good for that. Or if you're like, I'm really tight on money, use a free Google form. Okay. That Google form, you can brand it to you. You can put the event header on the top with all the details. You can ask all the questions you need to. When you go to post about the event, you make sure they sign up. You find out their name, their address, right? Because now I'm going to create a map on proxy of their location because they're signing up to participate in the yard sale. So they're going to give me this information freely without question, right? So I have their name, their address, their phone number, and I put in parentheses, in case I need to have any last minute event updates. They give me their phone number freely. They give me all of this information freely because they see I'm providing a service to them. I am serving them at this point, right? Then at that point, guess what? I get all of this information. I collect it from all of these people who sign up. As they sign up, I will collect all that information. I'll probably have about 40 to 50 people who sign up to participate. I then put them on my reminder media list. They're going to start to get quarterly branded magazines from me, right? Another item of value without asking them for anything. When they sign up, I have one dedicated day where I have a concierge service drop off a yard sign that says they are participating in the yard sale with
is your brand on there?
Sponsored by my name. Yep, yes. It's branded with me, right? And I'm providing them a yard sale kit. Again, another item of value. It's going to be a clear tub. It's going to have a Sharpie marker in there, and it's going to have stickers, and then it's going to have a postcard, again, branded to me, saying thank you for signing up to be a part of the community yard sale this year. I can go on and on and on, but the cool thing is I also have a dumpster that's going to be the day of, where people can throw out any junk that they don't want, because, right, they've took all the time to clean out their garage. They don't want to put that stuff back in their garage if it doesn't sell. So they can either throw it in the dumpster that I'm paying for. It's going to have my branded banner on there. Then there's also going to be one donation location where I have a company coming to pick up these donations, right? So if items don't sell, they can either trash it or donate it. Guess what? I'm also providing that value to them for free, something they don't have to do. I'll have my pop-up tent set up there, and I will be providing everyone who comes to give all of that information away. I will give them a branded box. In fact, I have the box right here. A branded box, right?
Yeah.
As seen on HTV. And in this box is going to be a market update for our neighborhood and some branded swag. Since I live in a golf course community, it'll have a golf ball branded to me, tees branded to me, a divot tool branded to me. I'll have water bottles branded to me. Everything is so next level branded to me. And then now they're on my follow-up list. And then after the event is over that evening, I'm going to email everyone a coupon code for 20% off their first month at a local storage unit.
Oh, boom, man. Done. That what you just unpacked an amazing strategy for any agent with any neighborhood. That's
So,
oh man. So it's
that's how I do my modern farming.
But the reason why it's modern, right? But you are still having face to face, shaking hands, belly to belly, right? But you started it online, so you started, and then I'm sure they all follow you on Instagram, so they're all seeing you do this, and then you're showing you prep for the yard sale. You're doing, I mean, what a cool! You've built a community.
Put up flyers everywhere. Not the postcards. You guys got to do it right. You have to spend the money to market yourself correctly. Put out the videos, right? I'm going to be doing videos in the Facebook group. Hey, 3 more days till our event. And it's just all about hitting them correctly and leading with value. But that's how I do my modern farming, and I do events all year long. I'm also
again, if you think about it, if one person ends up using you to sell their home in your neighborhood, paid for, and then some,
times 10, right? And then some, and then the referrals and everything. But I do things like that all year long. So I do like a Monster Mash Dash fun run during Halloween. The kids dress up, have food trucks, the whole gamut, do a 50-yard dash. It's fun. I mean, I do a ton of stuff, but leading with value always. We have like golf cart parades. Like, so they know me. They know that I'm that realtor in the neighborhood that does all the events.
And they're going to refer all their friends, and that's amazing. So that's a good transition, because I want to talk about your coaching program that I've seen just like completely created and blow up. So why don't you just give a rundown of what it is and who you guys are real quick, if you can.
So it's funny. I was doing another podcast earlier today, and they asked us the same thing. So I could probably talk about this in my sleep, but I'll make it short and sweet. Essentially, we started through the pandemic because we wanted to come together, create a safe space for women in real estate where they didn't feel attacked, like they were being put down for asking a question because they were a newbie in a Facebook group. You know what I'm talking about. There's lots of real estate groups out there.
Yep.
And they make people feel bad for asking questions like, you should know this already. Well, they don't. They're new. Give them a break. Like, maybe they don't have the mentorship or broker that you had when you were new, right? And so we thought, how do we create this safe space for women? Again, niching down to my most ideal client avatar, which would be women in real estate.
Yep.
And bridge the gap and give them these high level ways to brand themselves, market themselves, and teach them how to build a business of their dreams, whether that's 6 houses a year or 6,000, whatever it looks like. Our vision is to always be bigger than their vision and to always bring them fresh, new marketing content, right? So we started that on Clubhouse. After about 5-6 weeks, we realized, well, why are we doing this? The content is gone as soon as we're done talking. So we transferred over to Facebook, created that group. Within like a month, we had 2,500 women. Now, 2 years later, we have almost 15,000 women in the group. But from that, we've launched several products, right? So it was about almost a year of just doing free content, giving them free checklists and things like that we realized, like, we have this audience, and our intent was to never monetize it. Our intent was to lead with value, same way I do my real estate business, right?
Sure.
But at the end of the day, they kept coming to us like, hey, how can we be in closer proximity to you girls? Like, do you have a coaching program? We want to learn more. And so our coaching program was born. And our first round of signups, I think we had like 60 women sign up. Now it's been just over a year. We have about 150 women in our high ticket program, which is incredible.
That's awesome.
We've created this amazing movement. And we have like one-off products of our real estate systems for buyer masterclass, listing masterclass, all kinds of cool things. We have a monthly marketing membership teaching them exactly like what client events to do, swipe and send emails, swipe and send text messages, like all of these cool things like that I wish I had when I was a brand new baby realtor, or if I had only been in it, less than 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And
because who are your two partners? It's 3 of you, right? Who are the other 2?
Yeah. So we're in different markets. So my 2 other business partners, Lauren Rocco, she's in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then Tara McCarthy is in Denver, Colorado. And we've created this, and it's literally an entire movement. Our goal, our ultimate goal, is to reach over 100,000 women in the real estate industry and to help them build the real estate business of their dreams.
Well, you guys are on your way. It's so fun. I run a team, that, those in the audience that don't, and I have 3 girls on my team that are talk about girls. Oh, and they just call you guys the girls. So the girls, it's super cool. And I'm jealous because I'm like, I joke with you all the time. I'm like, I can't come, I can't hang out. And I know that you guys, you're having guys talk, but at the same time, that's what makes it so special. It's not necessarily about who the person is. You're creating a community where people can relate to each other and people feel comfortable with each other. Right. And that's what's super cool, because this industry, we like that it's isolated, but we hate that it's isolated. Right. It's like, I always say, I like to be on an island, but I want to like be able to jump over to my friend's island real quick and see how they're doing with their business. Right. So you
summed it up perfectly. It's kind of like being a team leader, really, and having the same mindset that you have as the way you run your team. If I had a team, that's the mindset that I would have. Right.
Yeah. Well, it's creating value and building people's business and helping this. So if I was thinking about being a client and I was a female, what could I expect I mean, I'll let you plug it because people are listening and they want to find how to do this. Like what can they expect? Obviously you probably have a lot of content that people can find out, but I have you here. What do I get if I'm a coaching client?
Oh
Like
my gosh, you guys.
specifically.
Okay, this is good. And it's everything that I wish I had when I was trying to build my big old empire, right? Because here's the thing. Traditionally, people think real estate coaching is just, hey, I'm going to hop on this one-on-one call and this coach on the other end is going to be like, well, what are you struggling with? What do you need help with? And it's like, that's so ass backwards. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said
No,
that.
you can.
It's so
These are
backwards.
adults.
Okay, good. It's so backwards because at the end of the day, it's like you don't know what you don't know. You need to have somebody show you the shortcut to shave off years of what we struggled through trying to build our business, right? So we have absolutely everything in our coaching program. The foundational pieces of like, here's a P&L, here's your spreadsheets, here's a spreadsheet to teach you like your investment on listing a house, literally everything, all of that business building stuff. Because I think at the end of the day, people come into real estate because they want the freedom. They think it's freedom that they can choose their schedule. They can choose to work, 20 hours a week if they want to, which you can, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, like they don't know how to successfully run a business. And so they treat it like a hobby.
There's nowhere to really go. And no, nobody teaches
There's
you.
nowhere to go.
Yep.
So that was what we said. We want to bridge this gap and give them beyond just the entry level 90-day boot camp that most brokerages give you when it comes to training, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got all of that. We have literally systems. Every single touch point that you have with a listing lead. So from the time you get that lead, every single email you send them throughout the entire transaction, every client touch point, like literally rip off and put that as an email template, use our systems, our 130 point checklists, all of our client facing marketing things. I create them and put that as part of our systems. They get that so they could easily brand to them like our moving checklist, our listing presentation, literally everything. It's literally
so you have
a
buyer
business
consultations and listing consultations.
Everything.
And they can brand it to themselves. You just give them templates, right?
Yep. So that's what's missing from a lot of coaching programs is they give you like the high helicopter view of what you should be doing. But then you have to spend all the time researching like, okay, how do I create my listing presentation? How do I create this like entire process and checklist and system for taking a listing? We give you the shortcut. Like cut out literally years of experience and rip off and deploy our system, and it's literally plug and play. Now you're not having to go, recreate the wheel, because I'll tell you, this doesn't really exist anywhere else. So we have found that's why our program is so successful.
So why, what's your why with this? I have my why for I run a team, but what's your why with this? It's not to, you weren't even going to monetize it, and here you are. So
no, we weren't going to monetize it. But at the end of the day, if I'm selling less homes to serve this community at the highest level I possibly can, I gotta feed my babies.
Yeah.
So that's why we monetize it, because we're like, there is such a need and we want to help them so bad.
Yeah,
right?
but what's your why with doing this? Why taking away from your real estate business to help women in real estate?
Because there's something to be said that if you can impact thousands of women's lives, who can then turn around and impact thousands of clients' lives, I have succeeded in life. And truly, the three of us have said that God truly aligned us, called us to do this. And this is truly the mission that we're on right now, is to just continue forging forward and sharing our industry knowledge with people that wouldn't have ever had access to someone like us, and our knowledge, our experience, the way that we've run our businesses over the years. Because believe it or not, of the three of us, I've been in the industry the least amount. Tara's been in the real estate industry 21 years and Lauren 19. So we walk the walk, we talk the talk, and we're literally opening up our playbooks to all of our coaching students.
Well,
so
and
our
also,
big why, it's just to be able to help them build their life, because we have had such a blessing in our lives with our kids and our families selling real estate, that we want to be able to uncover the secrets. But at the end of the day, they still have to do the work. They still have to do the work.
Yeah, but you're giving them a competitive edge. which is so hard to find in such a saturated industry where there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of real estate agents. And to be able to provide that that's pretty special. And I will say, it's also like 5 years ago, you couldn't have created this just because nobody knew what Zoom was yet. I mean, it was there. I used it a few times, but now you can have all these people that you can be in touch with, 30 people you're looking at all over the world. And that's pretty powerful. So no, I love it. I always joke that I'm super jealous that I can't be a part of it, because I feel I have FOMO, fear of missing out.
Tell your wife to join.
Oh man, I will, but then I'll sneak on and I'll log in as her or whatever it is. I'll sneak on. But no, I'm like, ooh, I want to see what your P&L looks like. But I know you give it to me. But regardless, if you are listening to this and this feels like something you want, like, I don't know what's in there, but I know that it works, and I know that they're creating a pretty amazing situation. And maybe one day boys can be invited, but if not, I'll create one. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's super cool.
By the way, do you know so many of our guy friends have been like, I'm gonna go create Guys with Grit, like jokingly, but kind of not jokingly. We've already bought the domain, so don't try.
Well, I don't. It wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same. Like you guys, like. It's just it's a community. It has nothing to do with male, female, right? It's a community that you've built that it's the likeness of somebody else. You know what I mean?
It is. And I think women genuinely love community more than men do. It's just how we were created, honestly.
Right. No, I love it. And so we're almost out of time. I'll have you plug at the end, but I do want you to. I like to ask everybody this. So. Success was built on failure. What's one big fail you had in your career that catapulted you into success?
Oh my gosh. So here's the thing. People ask me that, and I think at the end of the day, I've had so many failures in my career. But the difference between me failing and maybe somebody else is I don't give up. And I'm not afraid of failure, and I'm not afraid of fear. I think I can't really pinpoint one because I don't like focus on my failures. I see it as like me having an opportunity to fail forward and have an opportunity to recreate something and pivot. And so I don't really focus on my failures as much as maybe other people do, because for me, I just chalk them up as learning experiences. But I will say at the end of the day, I had one this one's kind of raw. It's more recent, but it's like the failure of aligning with people that you had no business aligning with. And what do? You just pick up the pieces, you learn from it, and you move on.
Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like and now, like, the longer you do, well, that's just life, right? So if you look in the mirror and it's like, wow, I knew I had that feeling, the hair on the back of my neck stood up when I started working with that person, and I knew it, and I didn't trust my instincts, and I should have. Like that's now I see it, and I'm like, me and you, I don't know about us. You know what I mean? I can see it ahead of time.
Yeah. So listen to your intuition. Listen to your intuition for sure.
So where people can find you, you do have something that's coming up that's pretty big. Speaking of Girls with Grit, so what's coming up? Talk about that real quick.
We do. Oh my gosh, thank you. We have our annual conference coming up. Again, sorry, dudes. This is for the women in the room. Mark's looking at me all crazy.
No, it's so cool. You have a convention. Like, this is crazy.
It's so cool. It is crazy because you knew me before any of this, and so it's like I feel like you had a front row seat to.
I did, and I'm just so proud. I'm proud of you, and I'm also I'm pumped that there's a place where people can go. Like, there's no brokerage affiliation, there's no team affiliation. Correct. You guys are just like, we're all like in this industry together, and let's learn together. Yep. So your convention. So who are some of the speakers? When is it?
Yeah, so it's April 24th through 27th. It's in Dallas. We have lovingly referred to it as Rhinestone Cowgirl, the leading conference for women in real estate. And we kind of joke and say, it's kind of like if Carrie Underwood had a real estate conference, this is what it would be. So
she's going to be your guest next year.
Hey, we tried. We're like, what if we got her as like a guest performer, dude? She's way outside our budget.
Yeah, I'm sure she's way outside. She's way outside like the Super Bowl's budget.
Yeah, exactly. But it's really cool because it's not just fire content. It's not just like, we handpicked all of our speakers too, by the way. And some of our speakers are like right now the like epitome of what women want to be in the real estate space, they would look to these speakers, right? So we've got Glenda Baker. Everyone knows her as the TikTok queen. She's coming.
Amazing. Yep.
Yeah, we have Kirsten Jordan, who was on what's that show? $1 Million Agent.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She's coming to speak. We've got Lee Brown. She's coming to speak. Chelsea Pites. She's phenomenal. Like, go look her up on Instagram if you guys don't know who she is. We have Jessica Woodbeck. You know, Exactly What to Say by Phil Jones. She is certified, that book.
Wow.
So she's certified to teach his course. So she's coming to basically teach like almost like a workshop style of exactly what to say when you get a lead, exactly what to say when you're on a listing appointment. Like, it's going to be really, really good, high quality content. We have a ton of other incredible like A-level A-listers in the real estate industry. Like, you know, maybe, I don't know if a lot of people know some of these names, but I think they're incredible. Lana Rodriguez, Nikki Klein, a lot of really, really empowering women.
A lot of women that are making waves in the industry right now that are just on like top sellers or top content creators or just extremely present in the market. I saw the list of people and I was like, how did you get, this is so cool. If I was a woman and I had an option to go, I would definitely, I think you guys, it's going to be cool. Is it going to be like, are there breakouts or like, does everybody get to listen to everybody?
Oh, we've done breakouts in the past and it's different for women. We just didn't feel like it was super high value. So this year there's not going to be breakouts. Everyone's going to be speaking from the main stage. There probably we're still selling tickets. We have less than 100 left. We'll probably land somewhere between 450 to 500 attendees. So opportunity for referrals. But the coolest part of all of it is that most women that have come to our conferences in the past have said that this is exactly what they needed because it's women only. And they felt like it was almost like a spiritual, well, not spiritual, but it was like exactly what their soul needed to connect with other women that are doing incredible things in the real estate space at a high level, super vulnerable, learning their top secrets, networking, building friendships across the country. Like, I don't know that you can put a price tag on that. I really don't.
No,
like,
you can't.
I feel like you cannot afford to not be here at the end of the day. Like, you owe it to yourself and your business to get in that room and network with all these incredible people, for real.
1000%.
But we also have fun. We have lots of parties and things that we line up too.
Oh, I bet it's so fun. Yeah, just to create some lifelong friends for. Oh, that sounds great. I'm jealous. Yep. I'm always jealous. Yep. FOMO.
Sorry,
but no, I'm so
snag a ticket.
Yeah,
snag a ticket if you're listening. Go to girlswithgrit2023.com and snag a ticket. We've got less than 100 left, so
get them while you can. Right now. Jamie, you're awesome. Where can people, if they obviously you have a coaching program, you're a great mentor, you have Girls with Grit. Where can people find you?
You can find my personal Instagram at Jamie Sells Raleigh. You can find Girls with Grit as well. So just look us up, Girls with Grit Collective. You can find us, our private Facebook group for women only on Facebook, not the page, the group, Girls with Grit Collective. And then find out more info if you're still lost. Just go to girlswithgrit.com. All of our resources, how to join the group, everything's right on that website.
That's awesome. You are awesome. You gave so many good tips. The yard sale alone was worth the listen. And to me, that was, I knew you did it, but thanks for unpacking that. Jamie, you're awesome. Thanks for coming on. If you guys want to contact her, reach out to her. I know she answers all her Instagram DMs. Sure. And if you're a lady and you are interested in Girls with Grit, join it because you're going to explode your business, do all that stuff. Jamie, thanks so much for coming on. All you listeners, thanks for listening. We will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in to hear me chat with Miss Jamie Tulak. She is an amazing realtor, businesswoman, everything. She's super, super awesome. And that Girls with Grit thing is mind-blowing. Her and her business partners have grown that so much. They have a convention that she was talking about. That's insane. It's so cool. So anyway, thanks for listening to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe so that you get notified every Thursday when we drop a new episode with an amazing guest. And it would be really cool if you gave us a 5-star review. That way more people just like you can listen to this podcast. Thanks for listening and see you on the next one.